Hi everyone, it's Ayesha here from God FM, and I want to talk about something quite serious. Most of you won't really be familiar with it, and you might even think I'm crazy. But I want to talk about the mind control and the taking over your mind that is already taking place across the world, and it is very serious. All right then. So what they have done is they've put all these 5G boxes everywhere. They've modified all the lights, they've put things in the drains, and then they've also made everything AI and voice over internet protocol. They've removed all of the exchange, which operates the telephone systems, and basically it's gone from internet to intranet. So anybody who has a business, you'll know that if you've got several businesses across the country, you can have intranet for your businesses, intralinking, and central to one computer. This means you can up and download files and all of those things. Right, okay. So what we have is the World Wide Web. And the World Wide Web is a place that is a web, just like what is on the ground, which is also a web. It is a grid system. So some of you may have noticed a national grid type of setup with all of the smart meters and then with the vehicles as well. All right. So this is all part of the same stuff. And then you've got the nano in the water and the stuff they're spraying on us, and then all the strange things in the food. And there's not many cows in the field, and I don't really know what meat we're eating. And that's a fact. People's organs are being removed from their bodies before they're dead in hospitals. People are dropping dead for no apparent reason. Retirement used to be at 50 and you'd live to 98 or something. Now retirement is 70 and people are living, if they're lucky, to 50. Things have gone round backwards. Children are dying of heart attacks and cancer's on the rise. But what exactly is cancer? Cancer is a foreign body that is inside you. And it is my understanding that these foreign bodies are actually parasitic. And they reproduce. Now, the other thing that you should know about is that this is about teach, no logic, right? Technology and AI. And God is I am. So this is the opposite to that. Lights is the new Wi-Fi. But sound is a frequency that can change your vibration and your harmony with the earth. All of us operate at different vibrations and IP addresses, if you like. And in the army and the military, when you go to war, you have military-grade weapons to go after your targets, to hunt them down. And they have something that they've used before, which is called the God machine, where they can actually talk to the enemy in the mind. Yes, they can. I'm not making it up. And they can think they're hearing from God. And they've actually done this before in a war and used it, and the people have put down their weapons thinking their God had told them to do this. We've also got subliminal messages all around us with all the newspapers, with the radio, and with the TV. Now, my background is radio, for anyone who doesn't know, and subliminal marketing and understanding the consumer's mind and the changing of consumer buying patterns is something I'm really good at. Funnily enough, even though I've got a marketing background, I can't get more views than 25, whatever, per platform. What I've found actually is if you speak the truth, you cannot reach anybody. You might as well be in the desert. Anybody who is out there working for the government, they get lots of views. But if you are a truth speaker, it's very hard. You get banned, you get blocked, you get problems when you make comments. I had a problem because I called someone a mushroom head, which isn't a swear word or anything. It was just a laughing comment, So we've got a real control on what we're saying and what we're thinking. And in the mind of a psychopath, they want to control you. They also want to control anything around you because they don't like you. But they also admire you. It's a strange one, all right. So they want to influence and control everything in your environment. And this includes what people think, what they say. And so this is also what happens to you when you speak the truth. They go around and they do their smearing campaigns. Right, so back to the mind control. What we've got is a very strategic attack, a military-style attack on innocent civilians going on across the world. Whether you believe me or not, I don't know how to convey this, but it's serious. It's very serious, okay? People's minds are being taken over. People are becoming zombified. They're changing. Something has changed them inside. Their mind isn't the same. The behavior isn't the same anymore. They forget things. Look, I'm having problems too. I am having big problems remaining balanced. I'm wobbly. I've got floor rubbling under me all the time. The room spins. I get flashing in my eyes. I get real headaches. I get ringing in my ears. I'm affected by very bright lights. And for some reason, all my neighbours like to point really bright lights at my windows in the night, so it's daytime outside. And I find it really hard to sleep. So, as I say, is about frequencies. Now, your brain sends out frequencies and transmits messages to the outside known world. It is also because you're made in the image of God, you're actually creating your own reality through the way you perceive things. If they can change the way you perceive things, what you send out and then transfer it and change it and send it back to your brain's confused. So what you do is they're basically sending lots of different signals to your brain and hijacking it. Okay? And this is going on. But not only that, we've got all the nano in the water. And this stuff is constructing inside us. And it is literally activated by lights, which are very bright, when the neighbours decide to all shine their bright lights at your windows. And all the nano wakes up. Nano is tiny. And it is very, very known that the water boards are using nano to clean the water. Not chlorine anymore. Nano. That's why we got stinky drains. Stinky pooey smells everywhere. All right? Great. By the way, do you know you can make electricity with your urine and with your poo? It is actually quite powerful. In the old days, they would say to you when the police came, have you got a pot to piss in? You haven't got a pot to piss in? Okay, you can use the policeman's hat because he would take your piss. Because it was actually a commodity in a currency. Believe it or not. So, everything is not as it seems. The world is very different. Lots of things are happening. We haven't got enough electricity but we're making cars running on electricity. Cars that take days to charge. It's just a bit backwards. Now, if you are aware of the way things work with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, this is wireless, and so is electricity. All right, good. Because electricity is also current, and a currency. All right. And God's children are elect. Right. Okay. And then we have electricity. Well, the thing is, we conduct because we're conductors. All right. Are we bus conductors, or are we music conductors? Or are we conductors of our lives? What type of conductors are we? Are we conductors of our own mind? Is somebody else conducting what they want to go into your mind? These are questions I want to ask you because I think they're important to ask, because things are happening fast out there. And a lot of people are feeling like they're not really in control of their bodies or their minds. They've got ringing in their ears. They've got ringing in their head. The head's really, really sore. I've had it where my head's so sore I could cook an egg. And I've had it where it's so sore, you know, if you cut yourself or you have a car crash and it's so painful, you know, when you go all numb and then you go dizzy. Well, that's what I get most days now with the military grade torturing that I go under every day. And not just me, many other people that are members of my targeted individual group. I wouldn't say it's easy to call yourself a targeted individual, because what is a targeted individual? Well, somebody doesn't fit in. Whatever they've done, I don't fit into it. It's like I'm a round ball trying to fit into a square peg. I'm just square hole. I'm just not fitting into this current structure. It's like I'm not welcome here. My body doesn't want to go there. And it's having a bad reaction, just like if you have bad medicine. And it's made me really unwell. And it's making my friends unwell. But it's not just that. It's making my pets unwell. My cat's unwell with it. My friends' animals too. And children. Children are being affected by these funny, strange 5G things in the schools. And we have the World Economic Forum telling us that they're going to be able to read your mind and tell you what to think. They've also got the leaders who are all satanic. When you sell your soul, you get replaced. That's why pop stars and movie stars, everything is copyrighted, because they sold the copyright to copy their body, to take their soul, and to clone them. So many of the leaders are copies and clones. We've been invaded. This is a military-style takeover. All of the leaders have been taken over. This is like a 007 movie. You need to wake up. The robot dogs are coming. The fridges will not open at Tesco soon unless you've got your digital ID. I am not crazy. I'm trying to explain what is going on. And I need some help to take this down, because I don't want to live in a 15-minute city, and I don't want to eat bugs, and I don't want my mind read, and I don't want to be this round ball that won't fit in the square hole anymore. I want my headaches to go away. I want to be able to fit in. And I actually don't know. Sometimes I don't know if it's me or if it's because of the lights and the 5G. Maybe I'm a paranoid schizophrenic like they want me to believe I am. I've come across paranoid schizophrenics. I need to find out that they're not paranoid schizophrenics. They just can't handle all of this technology. And if you pump a person full of electricity, eventually that person's not going to be well. And they're probably not going to be able to react well to a light being put in front of the person if they've been pumped full of electricity. And that's kind of what's happened to me. and my friends. And I need your help. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm just having a real straight chat with you, okay? A lot of people are having problems. A lot of us. And it's not normal. When I switch off my electricity, my house feels like it's in a train track. I can feel the vibrating of my walls. My friend, actually, Raf, he is an expert with all of this technology and radiation, he calls it. And I call it that too. Some people call it 5G. Some people call it electricity. But whatever it is, it affects me. And he came to my house and he's got an EMF detector. And he came here and he said, I can feel that it's not so bad here compared to my place. I said, oh. I said, it's maybe because of the things I make to counter it. Because I make coils and magnets and all sorts of little things to try and help myself, to try and balance myself. Because I'm not earthed anymore. Because whatever they do, I believe that they overexert extra earth wires. You know how druggies people, they can grow drugs for free through the earth wire. So this is kind of the same. They always do everything through the lights, through the earth wires. And then it's just too much earthing. I'm not earthed anymore, basically. So my friend said, oh, how did you know where to put the things? I said, well, because I can feel it. And now I can actually see it also. I can see the waves in the air. That's how sensitive I have become to it. And I feel like I'm being killed. And so as I say, I have got an EMF detector, and all I can say is my EMF readings from my lights is 1800. It's so high, it's deadly. Enough to kill. But it's all the time, 24 hours a day. All calls to get help fall on deaf ears. Nobody recognizes EMF or overexerted electricity. Even though if you stick your fingers in a plug socket, you will electrocute yourself. So we know electricity is real. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. So if you're struggling, then you might like to know that they're putting all sorts of things in the drains, in the toilet pipes, everywhere. They're putting things on all the water pipes. They're putting things on all the gas pipes. All the smart meters are all interconnected on the grid. And they seem to connect it all up and switch it on, and then we all have a bad night's sleep, and we all have a bad time. And it's not just me, it's a lot of people who've got neck ache, backache, bum ache, itchy feet, really sore ankles. Mold grows really quickly with all of this going on, by the way, as well. So do parasites. I've got somebody who's connected up something to my washing machine. I mean, I'm not messing around. And it's got so much nano going in it. I've got a magnifying glass. This is definitely moving little tiny threads that are blue. And they're all over my house. Everywhere. I can't get away from it. It's like, wow. And so I'm encouraging you to do some research about it. Because it's not just me, it's happening to all of us. Some of us are affected, some are not. But who's doing it? Well, we've been invaded by our enemies. Basically, people who are running our countries are not here to help us. They are not our friends. They're planning the annihilation of most of us and the enslavement of all of us. I want you to hear what I'm saying and just think about it. Even if you don't believe me, please, I work for the Lord and I've read his Bible And I believe that we are in these times of the revelation of the Bible, where the beast system is operational. I have a feeling that the technology that we're using is going to be a problem soon. The phone is tracking us, it's watching us, it's taking a photo, but it's not just taking a photo, it's taking a brain scan, an infrared scan of your body. And other people are also scanning you. Other people's phones are also doing things. Not just to them, but to other people. Like they're under different commandments of different instructions. All connected through the grid. Through this wireless over internet protocol. Voice over internet. Which is all connected to the metaverse. Which is meta. Which is also the world of the dead. And is also connected with the injections, with Pegasus and Stingray. So they've removed all our advanced data protection from all our phones. So none of us have any privacy. They're doing strange alerts all the time. And, for me, I'm having real problems using my phone. Somebody else has got control of my phone. They have cloned my phone. They've cloned my SIM card. They've cloned my identity. They've cloned every email. They have taken over every app. They modify the apps. And they've even put a brain interface on my phone. So they can try and project sound waves and things like this. Look, I don't know the technology that well. But I can tell you it's affecting me. And all of our subnet masks, by the way, 255, 255 and 255.0.0, all go to a central point. So does 255, 255.0.0.0.0 goes to a central point. So does 192.168.1.1.1. Okay, IP address. Our DNS also 1.1.1.1 also goes to the same place. So does 2.2.2.2, 8 or 9, whatever else you use. So basically, it matters not what you put into your phone. What these guys can do is they can put up a aerial and face it at your house and send frequencies to vibrate your home, then project lights, then fill your house with nano, and your house comes alive. It literally does. And it's frightening. Okay? And this is not just happening to me. It's happening to a lot of people. A lot of people. I have a funny thing where my bed feels like I'm sleeping on a washing machine. And it's very uncomfortable. And it hurts me. My bed shakes. Is it my bed or is it me? If I put my phone in enough packets of crisps, it stops. Does that help you to understand? When I get rid of my phone, and it's at the phone shop, and it's being reset to factory settings, it stops. And my bed isn't a washing machine anymore. And I don't get headaches, and I don't get ringing in my ears. So it's got to be connected to the phone. So yeah, we've got some problems because there's no telephone boxes. There's no way to communicate. And everything's digital, which is digital. We need to do something to change this. This is what's happening. Our biometrics are being controlled by our governments. Our governments are hunting us down to control what we say. Is it our governments, or is it someone posing as our government? Now that I think is probably correct. So my understanding is, from my research, that there are people posing as MI5, CID, police officers, part of a satanic cult. Very, very organised, highly organised, called shadow government, if you like. It's like the X-Files as well. And they go around and inform people, the person next door is under investigation. And we would like to use your back shed, please, and do some digging and put some things in the drains, because we've got to monitor this person because they're not safe. They're a danger, for the local environment and the people and whatever. Yeah, no, this person's known as a child trafficker or connected to pedophiles or Epstein Island or the banking fraud or the company's house fraud. So we better investigate her because she says she worked for God FM, but really she's a secret agent that wants to blow up the buildings of the government and take down the government. Yeah, well, actually I do. You know why? Because they're killing me. And they're not just killing me, they're coming after everyone I know. And they're using weird technology that no one's been told about. I don't consent. I want my freedom. So this is what happens. And who's behind all that? Well, it's the people who pretend to be God's children. The Jews. They're Israelites. But they're not the real ones. And that's not the real land. How do I know? Well, because I've had divine understanding given to me by the Lord. And again, it's just so hard to talk to anyone because no one believes me. But, I'm tired of it. I've actually gone to the trouble of reading the Bible and all the other books. And I've also had dreams from the Lord. But it's got to the point where the attack against me is military grade. And it's very, very hard. I get dizzy. I get convulsions. I collapse. I get flashing in the eyes. I get ringing in my ears. I get headaches so bad I feel like my head's going to explode. My hands get sore and swell up. And also I think that they're going to explode. I get funny nanobites on my hands. Are they nanobites? Yes, they are. I've plucked them out and they've got little worms out. I'm past caring whether you believe me. This is happening to me. And it's damn serious. And I have no idea what to do about it. I've prayed to God. He hasn't stopped it. I can only assume we're in that part of the Bible where God doesn't do anything. And we all are left to our own devices to see if we still believe in God after the torturing and torment and all that other stuff that's so evil. And these guys are witches and warlocks as well. They do witchcraft spells, all these evil things. Yeah, they do. They eat people, they drink children's blood, and they use people who buy and sell adrenochrome to break into people's houses. They use the neighborhood watch community to, implement their stalking, surveillance of anybody that opposes the system. And it really is like a 1984 film. And my neighbor, every time I go to the charity shop, he is there. And I'm not joking. And it's creepy, isn't it? And, he had someone living in his shed in the garden, climbing on my roof all the time. We've always got drilling going on in their gardens. And I get such terrible headaches. Can't be just coincidence, surely. Please tell me I'm not imagining it. Because I keep having to pop my ears as if I'm on an airplane all the time. Because the pressure in the house is going up and down. How does that happen? Well, 5G does that, by the way. Yes, it does. Oh, dear. So they link it all in with the fire alarms, which are also Wi-Fi and the lights. And this is a mass surveillance. Soon you won't be able to leave your cities. This is serious. So I'm calling all of you to please contact me. And let's talk about it. Please. I don't work with Gary Waterman, by the way, anymore. Mr. Gary Waterman decided, after all I did for him, that I'm connected to the government fraud and with Companies House fraud, and that I'm connected to Epstein Island and trafficking of people. Because I registered my company through a company, and he's connected them with a fraud. And my accountant who filed my returns has the same name as somebody else that is connected with Epstein Island. But it might not be the same name, and it may not be the same director, because quite often when you start checking his document, you'll find that people have different dates of birth. I've had a lot of people come to me who are victims of the same as me. And I'll be doing exposés of those. I'll also be interviewing all of the people that Mr. Gary Waterman says are compromised and part of the fraud. Because I actually think that these guys can help us. You know, Mark Steele and David Icke. I really like David Icke. So yes, and I'll be going through his document, and I'm going to vet it myself. How am I going to do that? I'm going to run it through my own system, and I'm going to double check it 4 different ways to see if the names correspond, the dates of birth, the company numbers, who they link to, and I'm also going to go through the newspaper articles, and I'll verify. And if it's a lie, I'll put a cross on it and I'll say it's a lie. And if it's the truth, I put a big tick in it and say that's truth. And if it's a victim of fraud, like I am, and any other director of a company is, then she'll put victim. And if they're a perpetrator, she'll put perpetrator, he. Which I think will be a lot easier. Then we can, navigate this a little bit easier and work out who our enemies are and who's on our team, because we really need to round up people who can help us. People like Mark Steele, who tell you about this technology and what's happening in the lights and that it's military-grade weapons. You've got to ask ourselves questions. Why would someone go out of his way to discredit everybody that might be able to help us? Has someone been sent in 2 years ago to live in his caravan? To do lies? Pretend to be saving humanity? We've got to ask questions. I can tell you that I'm not a liar. I serve the Lord. And I'm having a really hard time. I'm a single woman. I'm a targeted individual. And as far as I'm concerned, what Gary Waterman did, he might as well have put a gun to my head, because and not only am I targeted, all my neighbours think that I'm probably a government, Al-Qaeda, whatever. I don't know what they tell them, but my neighbours participate in this, what's going on in my life. The town has been smeared about me, and I don't really know who to trust. Plus, on top of that, what we've got is Gary Waterman telling everybody that I'm part of some Epstein Island and I serve the Lord. So, and I don't have anyone. So I think it's very cruel what Mr. Gary Waterman did. And I felt my heart break because I thought I could help him save humanity. And then I realised this guy's not here to save humanity. I'm going to have to do it. Or I'm going to have a good old try doing it anyway. All right? I love the Lord and I just want my freedom. Okay? And yes, I do think I could do a better job than King Charles. I do. I actually know what I would do. And I think it would be a very good system. Yeah, I'd like to be the Queen of England. And I'd like to take the throne. And I'd like to rule the world, actually, and put it all right, using God's Bible, serving God, with God being the king that he should have always been. That's the way I see it. And he is my husband. All right. And I don't mind telling you. Yes, you might think, haha, who she thinks he is. Well, I'm just a lady trying to make a difference. And that's why I do my videos. So I'm looking at interviewing many of the people who can help us, but also many victims of targeting. And just to, bring it more to light. And I'll be doing more lives to try and help other victims of targeting, but also just to talk to other victims of serious crime. People who've had their children taken off them. People have had their inheritance stolen from them. People have had their bank accounts closed and all their money stolen. People have had ideas stolen and created Zoopla with their ideas. I've spoken to so many victims. You'd be interested in the stories I'll be telling and the interviews I'll be doing. And so we're all victims of lies. Everything you've been told is a lie. How are we going to find the truth? Well, I think we can do it together, and I think it could be fun. Let's do this. It's Ayesha from God FM. And you can reach me on admin@godfm.org.uk or +44 777 35 77788. You can also find me on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, YouTube, X, and also Apple. And I don't claim to be anything apart from Ayesha Hart. My name is Ayesha. My full name is Lady Ayesha Jennifer Hart. My first name is Lady. I've changed my name from Ayesha Jane Edelston in 2019. Why? Because I was hacked and stalked in 2015 and all my ID was taken over. And Action Fraud was the ones who suggested I just do that. And that's what I did. And I might have to do it again, because my identity has been completely stolen once more. Probably by the same people. Why? Don't know. But it's happened to lots of people now. Okay then. Have a great day. And remember that the Lord loves us. The Bible is true, and so is the Lord. And there is no victory through any other name but Jesus Christ, who died on the cross so that we can have life. He also died on the cross so we can claim the inheritance, so we can execute the will of God. So, if you want to take part in the inheritance for the children of truth, then follow me. Alrighty then. Have a great day. It's Ayesha from God FM. Take care.